Hi everybody, and welcome to our module on errors in morphogenesis. Morphogenesis is the process by which the embryo takes shape in the womb, and therefore errors in morphogenesis are what we call problems with development of the baby in the womb. Most of these lead to either an abnormal or missing organ or abnormalities of the shape of the baby. And we can divide errors in morphogenesis into two types, intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic errors in morphogenesis are a failure of the embryo to develop. They are due to some problem within the embryo itself. This could be abnormal genes or other internal processes. And intrinsic errors go by names like agenesis, aplasia, hypoplasia, and malformation. We'll talk about all of these in the next few slides. In contrast, in extrinsic errors, there is an external force that impacts normal development. So the embryo is developing normally, but some external force inside the womb causes the baby to develop abnormally, and examples of intrinsic errors are disruption and deformation, which we'll also talk about in this video. We'll start with the intrinsic errors, and the first one is agenesis, and this is the term used to describe an intrinsic error in morphogenesis where an organ is missing because there is no embryonic tissue present to develop into that organ. And one of the classic examples of this is renal agenesis, where the kidneys fail to develop. Aplasia is different from agenesis in that aplasia can result in a missing organ just like agenesis, but in aplasia it's due to growth failure of embryonic tissue. So the tissue is still present, but it fails to grow into the organ in the embryo. And one of the classic examples of this is thymic aplasia, which is also called DeGeorge syndrome, which I talk about in a number of other videos. Hypoplasia is an intrinsic error where the embryonic tissue is present and it begins to grow, but the growth is incomplete. So one of the examples of this is microcephaly, when babies are born with a very small head. It's not that the embryonic tissue wasn't present, it's not that it failed to grow, it's just that it did not grow completely. And the final type of intrinsic error is called a malformation. In a malformation, there is abnormal development of a structure, and many of the congenital defects that you're familiar with are examples of malformations. For example, most neural tube defects are malformations. It's not that the neural tube and spinal cord do not develop, they do, but they develop in an abnormal fashion, and therefore it's called a malformation. In cleft lip or palate, the lip and the palate both develop, but they do so abnormally, therefore this is a malformation. And most congenital heart defects are also examples of malformations. For example, in a ventricular septal defect or atrial septal defect, the septum between the left and right sides of the heart develops in an abnormal fashion, and therefore that's an example of a malformation. Now let's move on and talk about the extrinsic errors in morphogenesis. The first one is called disruption. This is when normal tissue growth is arrested due to an external force. Remember, extrinsic errors are always caused by some external thing outside of the embryo. And the classic example of a disruption is the amniotic band syndrome. This is a syndrome where fetal structures are entrapped by fibrous bands in the womb. It often involves the limbs or digits, and the baby is born with short fingers or toes. This is a picture of an example of disruption shown on the screen here. In contrast, a deformation occurs when an external force leads to abnormal growth in the fetus but not growth arrest. This leads to a structure that is deformed or misshapen, and the classic example of a deformation error in morphogenesis is Potter syndrome. I talk about Potter syndrome in the renal embryology video, but I'll briefly review it here. In Potter syndrome, the fetus is exposed to absent or decreased amniotic fluid. Remember that the amniotic fluid in the womb is the fetal urine, so if the baby has severe renal malfunction, this can lead to decreased amniotic fluid, and that fluid is very important as a cushion for the baby. So when there is decreased amniotic fluid, there's a loss of fetal cushioning to external forces in the womb. As a result, there is external compression of the fetus by the organs and structures inside the mother. This leads to abnormal formation of the face and limbs. These babies often have facial deformities and limb deformities. These are all examples of deformation errors in morphogenesis caused by external forces. Also in Potter syndrome, there's an alteration in the liquid content inside the lungs in the embryo. This leads to abnormal lung formation. And this entire syndrome is sometimes called Potter's sequence. The reason it's called a sequence is because it is a sequence of fetal abnormalities that all result from a single problem, which is renal dysfunction in the baby. That renal dysfunction leads to problems with the face, with the limbs, and with the lungs. Therefore, it's sometimes called a sequence. And that concludes our video on errors in morphogenesis.